You, the 24Ds, voted for your class speaker, and can I please ask Jen Johnson to come to the stage and give a class address?
Good afternoon. Thank you to Dean Veloso, Dean Stabile, and Alina. Thank you to the faculty and staff. Thank you to the families and friends and graduates, all 21 of you, for joining us today in this beautiful theater in Fontainebleau to celebrate our graduation from INSEAD. We share, as INSEAD graduates, the common story of unique paths. Some of us traveled great distances with the hope of staying here. Some of us came here knowing what we would do and where we would go next. And others came here with no plan other than the desire for a new adventure. For the past 12 months, despite the different paths that brought us here and the ones we will take as we depart, we have all been at this crossroads together, witnessing one another's journeys. So for a few minutes before we leave, I want to think about what we have in common besides the orange lanyards that designate our presence at this crossroads. Because we have found ourselves in different classes, campuses, coffee chats, parties, and weekend trips over the course of the year, we have not all had the same INSEAD experience. But everyone I've spoken with has asked themselves this question: what am I doing here? Why did I come here? You wrote your motivation essay at the outset to convince admissions, but I bet you have asked yourself that question at least once during your time on campus. Maybe during the P1 exams, or the endless rain, or after a fight with your partner, or after you were rejected from a job. Why? Why did I leave my family, my friends, and my job to do this? As we are here in France, the home of great existentialist philosophers such as Simone de Beauvoir and Albert Camus, I'd like to propose an existential answer. And that is that we all came here to become more free. Think about it. What is the legendary INSEAD triple jump but an attempt to be free from your professional history and the geography that claimed you before? The knowledge, the networks, and the opportunities that we gain through INSEAD could free you to pursue your dream job, to build a better life for your family, to leave behind something or someone that makes you feel unfree. We didn't all come into INSEAD equally free, with the same opportunities, resources, and protections to live our lives as we would want to. But we came in with this shared desire. As INSEAD students, we are keenly aware of the freedom that comes with a better passport or a certain visa. And most of us aspire to the freedoms that wealth can afford us. Wealth, in many ways, gives us the power to buy more freedom when the institutions around us fail. Better medical care, more security, a good lawyer, maybe even a different passport. But there are limitations to the freedom that money can buy. The French aristocracy, who once enjoyed their days in the Fontainebleau chateau, used their wealth to purchase the spoils of freedom until one day, no amount of money was enough to buy freedom from a nation that was deeply unfree. To paraphrase a commencement address from Barack Obama in 2020, even more relevant in 2024, the domestic and global challenges that we are facing now remind us that our individual well-being depends on the well-being of the community we live in. And it doesn't matter how much money you make if everyone around you is hungry and sick. Society only functions when we think not just about ourselves, but also about each other. We came to INSEAD to be more free. And over the past 12 months, I hope that somebody in this community has helped you in some small way to achieve that. I was born in Seattle, the traditional home of multiple Coast Salish nations. From Southeast Alaska down to Western Washington, many tribes tell a version of this story of how there came to be light in the world. So I'd like to share with you a story that I grew up with called Raven Steals the Light. A long time ago, it was dark everywhere, all day. This made it very hard for the creatures of the world to find their next meal. But one day, while searching in the dark, Raven glimpsed a light peeking out from a house. And through a crack in the wall, he saw people inside, illuminated by a sphere of light they had removed from a wooden box. Raven knew that if he had this light, he would be able to find food much more easily. So Raven reincarnated himself as the next born child of the daughter of the family. Raven grew into a beloved but impatient toddler who would cry until the family showed him the light. And one day, Raven was crying badly, and he would not stop, even after his grandfather brought out the light. Raven, the toddler, was grasping for the light and crying inconsolably. And so, as grandparents will do for fussy toddlers, his grandfather decided to indulge him and let him hold the light. As soon as Raven grasped the light, he transformed back into a bird and flew out of the house and into the sky. Light spilled across the landscape for the first time. Raven, enamored with the light and the cleverness of his heist, almost missed that an eagle had spotted him and thought he looked like the perfect dinner. As the eagle attacked, Raven dropped pieces of the light on the ground to lighten his burden. And when these pieces hit the ground, they shattered and they became the stars and the moon. But the eagle was persistent. Finally, Raven decided he couldn't hold the light and escape with his life. So he threw the rest of the light into the sky, and that made the sun. Now, Raven is not a hero in this story. He stole the light for himself, and he only gave it to the rest of the world to save his skin. What Raven didn't realize is that he did not lose the light when the rest of the world gained it. When he put the light in the sky, it illuminated everything for everyone. The light, like freedom, grows when we share it. In the future, especially as you gain more power, you may be faced with moments when you can choose to take the light for yourself. In those moments, I hope you remember how you came to INSEAD to get free. That you remember all of us in community working together to be more free than when we arrived. That you remember all of the family and friends, the colleagues and mentors, and even the activists and revolutionaries who chose to share the light so that you could have this moment. When you have the opportunity to get more free, put the light in the sky yourself and share it with everyone around you. Congratulations on reaching this milestone in your life, graduating from INSEAD with a Master's of Business Administration. I hope it gives you and your family and all of us the opportunity to live more freely in the rest of our lives. Thank you.